we could, if you think you could do with better equipment,
I mean,
maybe some
I could buy you a jacket,
scuba diving equipment.
scuba dive. Like,
Imagine if that portal leads us beneath the water.
well, are we gonna go through the portal in the scuba diving equipment?
Scuba diving equipment, and unfortunately, we didn't have parachutes at the time, so I cannot see a parachute.
Just remind me quick, a little bit off topic. I just want to make sure. In the 1920s, diving equipment were those giant metal
Yes.
like helmets,
Yes.
right?
Yes, those
So
like
yeah.
pretty much you'll be able to walk underwater if you're lucky, and if you're like stupid strong, pretty much.
And there's no air. There would be no air.
So you'll be no, I mean you'll be probably plugged into a hose, and the hose will
Well,
be
There
like on
and
top.
there were
we
and
wouldn't
there
be though.
were those suits with air tanks. They weren't used
Oh, really?
often because people didn't. It was easier to have a giant hose and safer because the hose was connected to a cable, so they could pull you out if something goes wrong,
Yeah,
which was a good safety feature.
but you don't have that because there's no way to pull you up unless you want to talk to the old guy that you're running with, Nikolai, or to the crazy girlfriend that your buddy has, Ingrid.
Yeah. No.
Right.
I don't want to go there.
You know,
Um. Uh. I mean, if we're going to Tibet, it's probably going to be chilly, right? Like that's
it's a good
It's
assumption
gonna
to
be
make.
cold.
Yeah, I mean,
so.
It's going to be cold, and we
I
will also want some sunscreen.
maybe a little cold. Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to be
A,
able to guess. Like
a little. In most of Tibet, it's the temperature of, I think it's 18 degrees centigrade. 15, 18 is considered warm weather.
well, I'm trying to be optimistic here. Um, but yeah, it might
If
be
we
a little
go
chilly.
in normal clothes, we're going to freeze our asses off.
Well,
yeah.
I am not looking
Well,
to lose a limb to be precise. My character is not looking to lose a limb due to hypothermia.
well, maybe you get to like to show up and find a place nearby where you can shelter yourself. And I mean, I don't know what's there, depending on what you guys roll. Or maybe
I
you
have.
you go get supplies, or I you know.
Right, you also don't know how long we're going to be there. Which means that at least our characters will need food, medical supplies.
Well, I mean, what are the chances that you're just gonna show up like
Entire
on top of a mountain? Like chances are that you're gonna show up somewhere,
bigger
relatively
than
nearby a
showing up
town or something.
bigger than showing up near the town. Much bigger than showing up near the
Uh,
town.
I think that really depends on a role, truly. I mean,
And I'm not talking. I mean, it's mostly due to. I'm talking mostly due to geography, but that's okay.
I also would only have a 30% chance of being next to a town. I feel like.
although maybe so Nikolai will say, well, if we're truly thinking about going to Tibet, there is a good chance that they may not have a lot of things available that we have. Maybe hard to come
Also,
by.
one more thing: does anybody here speak any of the languages spoken in Tibet?
And oh, let's find out.
This is off the record knowledge, but in Tibet, in that time frame, they out of foreign languages they spoke a bit of Russian and Chinese, and even that was a weird dialect, a
Okay.
side dialect of Chinese.
So
what
Nicholas
degraded the considered.
says, I do not. But Ingrid seems to be able to communicate basically. No, nothing like too crazy, but she's able to understand and make herself understand. And she turns around and she says, don't look at me. I was just writing poetry. You dragged me into this. And then I have to put up with
I mean,
him
if you wish to stay here,
pointing at Damien, saying, I have to put up with him, give me the side eye, and then Clyde, that we barely have any time to hang out together. For all I know, we should be married by now.
that doesn't work like that.
See?
I mean,
See what I'm talking
if
about?
we
You're
were
brainwashing
in-
him.
If we were in Europe or Asia a few centuries back, arranged marriage maybe, but this is not
Exactly.
the time frame, and there, and arranged marriages are. If I'm not mistaken, illegal in America.
No, it's not illegal. We just like each other. It's okay, she says. Baby, why don't you do yourself a favor? Let's just get married, have a couple kids, and just relax.
Is she talking to Damien or is she talking to me?
She's talking to Damien.
Good.
So what do you say? And
If we survive this
and Isaac
and manage to
says,
stop the world from being eaten,
and
we can,
Isaac says,
we can talk about it.
Isaac says, baby, I am sure Clyde here will probably think a lot better of you and not give you so much of the side eye. And probably Damien will like you so much better if you could just communicate for us while we go into the next part, into the next area. Maybe he's even willing to spend some time writing poetry as a reward, or maybe a romantic dinner or something. What's your price? What do you want for Clyde's help? Well, I want some time alone with Clyde. I would like for him and
Wait.
I to spend the night together.
Keeper, I think you're messing up the characters.
Or okay,
My
fine.
character is
Damien. Or
Damien.
Damien. Yeah, Damien. Damien.
I
Yeah,
mean,
you're right. So
if
I would
you
like
want to
Damien.
switch up your
No,
interest,
no. You can't do that. No.
No. She
No,
was
no, no.
referring.
All
She
yours.
was referring to
It's
Damien.
all yours.
She was referring to Damien. She's like, well, I would like some time alone with him. Maybe we can spend the night together. And Isaac kind of looks at Damien and says, well, Damien, sort of like we don't have another choice.
yeah, unfortunately, currently, our choices are limited.
So, okay, well, perfect. So then I guess we'll go, and once nighttime comes, you guys are gonna be on your own and spend the night together, and Clyde and I will buck up somewhere else. Bunk up somewhere else. And she says, "Perfect. See, baby, I made it work. I knew there was something about me that could help us. Don't worry, I got you, baby." So what's the plan?
Damien, correct me if I'm wrong, but our plan is to try and get back to Arkham through the portal book door thing. To get some supplies and then come back to this portal room to
Yes.
so
Go back to Arkham, resupply with everything we think we may need, and after that,
pretty much I'm gonna grab my jacket and my waterproof blanket, and other than that I should have everything that I need. Maybe like picking up some food. I don't know how we track that or if we track that.
probably not. But
You don't have to track food.
If we do need some gear,
That sounds useful. But for the
I mean,
weather, maybe.
well, Call of Cthulhu has rules for extreme temperatures, so being prepared is needed to survive.
Well, yeah, I mean, you don't want to die. You know, the whole thing of like hypothermia and stuff.
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
good. Hey Nikolai, since I'm helping you, with your whole problem, would you be able to buy me some winter clothes and some gear?
Go ahead and roll your luck.
Yeah, I think so.
He says, "Well, funny story is that I don't necessarily have a lot of money on me. I didn't bring a lot of money. I did bring a coat that I'm going to use when we go. It's in my suitcase."
Clyde, if you can get us back, we probably can get everything back at your place. I know you have more than one winter coat.
Let's find out how many winter coats I have. And if let me check if I brought more than one.
I said Clyde, not.
Oh, Clyde. Never mind. Sorry, I thought you said Isaac. But yeah.
No.
Well,
So
I guess
you have
I'll.
more than one winter coat, and I myself also brought some warm clothes. Plus, I kind of ran out of flares, so I need to replenish those. And I mean, quite literally, I ran out of flares. The last session, I brought 4. We used the 4.
Yeah. Make me
So
so.
Kinda need to,
Okay.
need to get a few more.
Got it. Okay. Well, I will bust out one of my sticks of chalk and start setting up the ruins.
Right, you're also gonna need to get you more chalk.
Yeah, I have 10 sticks right. Well, 9.5 sticks right now. Mega, I figured I would just use half a stick for ruins on my chalk, just to.
Sure. Sure thing.
Better to have access than to lack.
Yes, I agree.
It's like Arkham is lacking in chalk. You could probably just enter into a supply closet and grab a few boxes.
Yeah, actually, I probably could just get some from university. That would make a lot more sense.
You didn't
Okay.
think about that, did you?
Oh, not even a bit. I haven't been to work in a week, or however long this has been. Or actually, this is work. I count this as a study. Okay. All right, I'm gonna finish up and get us back to Arkham.
I mean, now you know locations of several ancient ruins. By the end of this,
Yeah.
you can get a lot of financial support for that research.
Yeah, that's true.
And Isaac says, "Well, you know what? The least I can do is get the supplies for you guys. Well, for all of us. I mean,
Wait, which one?
ultimately, we're all gonna have to eat. I'm thinking you're
Which
gonna
one?
get
Which
you're
one's
gonna
Isaac?
get food. What was your question?
Is Isaac the name of the guy that we found at the university in Egypt?
Yeah, isn't it Isaac
Okay.
or Nikolai?
No,
The
Nikolai
person you
was
found
my
in Egypt was a female.
Okay, so Isaac.
Was it?
Isaac is the
Librarian
guy.
was female.
Right. Isaac is the guy. So Isaac says that to thank you for your help, he will be happy to cover the costs of the supplies that you need to get.
Who's that?
Isaac, the guy, the main guy that brought you into this.
The guy now. I'm sorry.
Can you hear me? Hello, 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 hello. Oh, hold on.
Yeah,
We
now I get it.
can,
Now
Can
I
you,
get
can you
somewhat,
hear me?
but the microphone
agree.
is a bit
Okay. So
weird.
Isaac said that the main guy that brought you in that got you into the whole mess.
That's Nikolai.
Okay, Nick. That's what I was asking. Nikolai or Isaac. So Nikolai then is the one that offers all that to you.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he offers to buy your supplies. I mean, he says ultimately, I'm sure you're trying to get food and things for all of
Okay.
us to survive. So why not? Yeah, the least I can do for all your troubles.
Oh.
I mean, it's not
I'm
like
glad
I'm
you
giving
saved
one
my
of you
life.
my daughter to sleep with.
Yeah, I'll just take the stuff.
Teach.
Now, mind you, that the daughter, as traumatized as she seems, right, and as needy as she seems too, she is pretty good looking for her age. She is, she's got
You
blonde
mentioned
hair.
that before.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
she's not bad looking. She's just a little touched.
I mean,
The
the thing is, Damien might have said yes under two conditions. One is that she's not a complete nut job, which she borderline is.
Oh no, she is. You're not gonna find a good looking girl that is not a nut job. That doesn't exist.
Not necessarily true, but you're not far from truth either. And I hate that that's the fact that's the universal truth.
But I'm just saying.
Every
So this girl is a little crazy.
hot girl I ever encountered was a nut job.
Yeah, she's
Just
definitely
straight
crazy.
up nut.
She's definitely crazy. I'm not gonna deny that. But at the same time, she likes you. She's got good intentions. It may be that she likes you. It may also be the fact that she may be terrified to be alone.
Second fact, Damien cannot really marry anyone who's not part of the cult he belongs to, so he's in a bit of a pickle there.
Maybe you can get her to
Wait.
join.
On the other hand, it wouldn't be that difficult. Joining that cult isn't any different than living a normal life. Only difference is that you get to learn weird martial arts that let you to do crazy shit.
All right, so you guys go start heading out
So,
then.
yeah.
Nikolai will say, you know what? We'll stay down here waiting for you guys. I mean, I wouldn't want. And he gets close to you, Damien, and he says, I wouldn't want Ingrid to just see that she can hang out there and then we cannot get her back. So we're just gonna stay here. Or do you guys prefer to just, for all of us, to just go out and just come back in here tomorrow?
I
No.
mean, if we
Right.
didn't think that she'd be in danger if we leave her out, you mean back at Arkham, I would have be happiest to just leave her out, to leave her there and out of harm's way. But you've seen what we're dealing with.
Well, I mean, she's just a little
So
misunderstood. Yeah.
Really, I was thinking she's the only one that
I'm
can
not talking
communicate
about
when we
that.
get to Tibet.
And also, keep in mind that
There's
she's
that
the only one that can communicate in Tibet. So we're sort of
If
gonna
I
need her.
I know, but I said
Or
if
else I
I
would
had
also
that,
leave her.
I mean, you're gonna have to, you're kind of stuck doing whatever she wants to do if we want to have that communication.
translator. Yes, I know. I know.
So anyway,
Fine. You guys. Wait, how? Then hand me your wallet then, I guess, because you said that you were going to pay for all of our stuff, and you're going to stay
Well,
here, which is.
he's like, I'm not gonna hand you my wallet, but here you go. Here's $100.
$100? That's not going to get us nowhere. I'd need at least 500.
In the 1920s, he
Uh,
says.
In
Yeah.
1920s, $100 was around. I think that would be around $900 current value.
Damien, let me have this. I need to pay for. I haven't been at work in a
he's
week.
like,
I don't
"Look,
think I have a job anymore.
Let's start with $100. Go get the stuff you need, and then if you cannot find everything you need, then you can come back. Maybe we can talk about it based on what you need and what they're charging you. But I think $100 should be more than enough for you."
All right, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I guess we will see. I thought we were friends. I don't appreciate getting ripped off.
Yeah, no. I mean, I would give you back all the extra. I'm still gonna give you back anything that I don't spend on literally this adventure to save your life. Excuse me.
Yeah,
I was
no,
just
it
trying to
sounds like,
make sure that I had enough.
Yeah, it sounds like that is exactly your intentions. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Well, here's your $100 bill. Just be careful where you go with that, because you might get attacked. You don't see. You're not. You're not gonna see a lot of people walking around with $100 bills. So.
Well, I'm gonna put it in my wallet. I'm not just gonna walk with it in my hand, Nikolai. Come on, man. I am smarter than that.
As long as you're careful, you should be fine. I think you guys got this. You guys are two smart, good-looking young men, and I think you guys are gonna figure this out and help me. Most importantly, help me get past this situation and get things going.
We will do our
Yeah.
best.
Perfect. That sounds exactly like what we need.
Is the lady from Egypt coming with us, or is she staying? She's staying behind too.
The lady from Egypt, she says, Is this what I really signed up for? I mean, do you
I
guys get? Do you guys have any intentions of getting this done, or are we here just to waste time?
Well, excuse me. I mean, do you have a winter coat?
No, but we spent so much time discussing about our winter coats that I don't even know if we're gonna go get a winter coat at this point.
Well, are you coming? We're trying to go.
Well,
We
let's
can talk
go.
on the way.
We've been talking about going instead of just going.
Well, yeah. Well, we're going right now.
Okay, and you know exactly where you're going to get the winter coat.
I mean, we're going back to Arkham. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, let's go. Let's go to this Arkham that you talk about. Let's go get the winter coat and whatever else we need and let's finish with this. You know, I want to go back to my town too. And by the way, that girl looks desperate.
Yeah. You're telling me.
What did you do to that girl?
I'm dead.
And
The
she looks
moment
at
you
desperate to
Damien.
get
get rid
out
She
of hearing of her,
she looks
she's
at
not gonna
Damien.
turn towards the Egyptian.
She looks at
She's
Damien
a
and she
bit-
says, "What did you do to that girl?"
Honestly, showed interest in her poetry and took her out to dinner while we talked about it. And
Wow.
he figured out to look back towards where where her and her father are where at least where they,
Did
and
you?
she for some reason decided to stick to me like a glue.
Yeah,
She
no, it
became
definitely seems.
obsessed.
She's a little obsessed. Yes. Okay, so let's get going and we'll get the stuff we need. All right. So you guys go and make sure that whatever it is you're gonna get, you just write it down on the list on your character sheet. Because
I'm
then
just
later
gonna
on he's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I got a rope, but you know what?
I'm just
I didn't
gonna
write it down."
resupply on flares. I already have length of rope.
See, you know what you're doing. You're prepared.
I have a hand drill, rope, bottle of bourbon, compass, binoculars, gallon water bag, electrical gloves, sketch pad, pen, blanket, searchlight, matches,
And
gauze, and the nice
I'm
gun.
thinking about grabbing. Would it be reasonable to say that my character would have some poison on him
I mean,
in as part of his gear
I
from cult?
I'm
I mean,
not
it wouldn't be
sure.
much. It would
Okay, so
literally
as part
just
of us being so
give
cold,
additional spec of damage.
roll your
like
credit
that.
rating then, because that's where the part of him and so cold comes from.
Holy shit! Poisons are stupidly overpowered in Call of Cthulhu.
Well, yeah, I mean, a poison will probably take, provided that you can have somebody like ingest it or whatever. You're probably gonna take somebody out.
No, for a weak poison, it's 1d10.
Yeah, but how are you administering it? I'm talking about like somebody just ingesting it, full blown dying. You know, if you're gonna attack with it, well, yeah, that's different. So, yeah.
I mean, he's literally just. It's literally going to be why not just a stupid syringe? You know, like at
Yeah.
that time, syringes were heavy duty. Just
So
a
the guy's
syringe
just gonna
jab
walk
it into
around
someone like a
injecting
knife.
people. It's like, hey, I'm your friend. I'm just casually here giving you a
I mean-
shot.
Terrifying.
Terrifying prospect.
Just damn her, you know.
I'm gonna bring a kerosene lantern so that we have access to fire.
Okay.
One last.
All right, so you guys get the coat and get whatever else it is you need, and you kind of go back. So, all right. So when you get back, Nikolai says, "Oh, it's glad for you guys to come back. I'm glad you guys came back. How'd it go? Did you guys find everything you need?"
Yeah, I couldn't get the complete diving suit, but I got a couple codes for us.
Diving suit for Tibet?
Yeah, I don't know. Damien was saying something about it. I was just looking at it.
I mean, why didn't you just buy a submarine while you were at it?
Do you think? Oh, I mean, you only gave me the hundreds.
Well, I'm being, I'm being sarcastic. I mean, we're going on the ice. I doubt you were jumping the water over there. I mean, if it's a skull, as you guys are saying it is. Do you normally, are you like used to dive in the cold? Is that something you normally
Yeah, they
do?
call it a pole. They call it a pole plunge.
Yeah, no, I have heard of that, but is that something you normally do?
Me, no.
Oh,
I was just trying to be prepared. I mean,
okay.
you're right, Nikolai. I'll step back here. I was just trying to be prepared.
Okay, so
Yeah,
are we heading in
trying
now,
to
or are
be
we spending the
ready.
night here before we go? And Ingrid said, "We should spend the night here, Daddy. We should have a nice, cozy sleep, and I can hang out with Damien, and you guys can talk about your silly things like making plans and whatever, and then tomorrow morning we can go."
We are all literally in just one giant room.
Yep, you are.
Okay.
Besides,
Just
Daddy,
check.
Damien wants to be with me. He wants to spend time with me. He hasn't been able to because of this silly quest that you guys are going into.
I'm fine with staying the night here and going out in the morning.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I will have to be. Although I would really prefer if we slept in actual apartments.
And
Actual beds.
Well,
and the
I
other
have a
girl,
waterproof blanket.
the other girl says, "I have actually the perfect thing." I figured that we were gonna get stuck somewhere, waiting, maybe for a night or something, and I figured it was going to be not fun having to wait. So I went ahead and I brought with me a drink from the town that I'm in. Now this stuff is strong, but you know what? It'll give you a nice buff. It does have a funny side effect, but it's mostly gets you drunk. So if you're too happy about your life and you got nothing to regret, make sure you don't drink. If you just want to forget about everything that's been happening and kind of have a good time, or as good as a time can get, then by all means feel free to take a sip.
I'll just take a sip of my own bourbon.
Sure. Bourbon. I've been wanting to try bourbon, she says. How about we swap? You let me try some bourbon, I'll let you try some of my stuff.
You can try mine. I just don't. I'll stick to the bourbon. I don't stick to one drink.
Oh, come on. You're not afraid of alcohol, are you? She takes a sip.
Gaming
Wow,
just
this
pulls
strong.
out a small gourd that opens and just fills the air with the smell of medicinal herbs and alcohol before he takes a swig from it. Okay.
And it's like, yeah, we're having a good
No.
time right now. And Ingrid says, "Ooh, you guys have drinks. That's great.
I mean, yeah, but mine isn't really for recreational drinking.
Well, she's got some good drinks, and apparently um, your friend Clyde has some good drinks too. And Nikolai says, "Well, how about we get this out of the way, and that way we can, maybe she can have a little too much and fall asleep, and we can get to the to what we're gonna do tomorrow."
I will hand her my bottle of bourbon. I'll hand her the whole goddamn thing. I'm done drinking. If she has it all, and she does, she knocks out. Maybe don't drink it all. Maybe drink so you don't get poisoned. But yeah, knock yourself out, literally, please.
She starts drinking, and she gets some of the. She's just drinking both. Both girls are drinking both, and go ahead and roll your power, both of you.
Curious. I'm just drinking my bourbon. Does that still apply?
No.
And I'm sticking to alcohol concoction in my. I wrote it as a small gourd, but it's essentially a gourd with alcoholic mixture used for exorcism. Not magical, just traditional bullshit.
Okay. Well, Eli is drinking, and Nikolai too, and also Ingrid. They're all drinking. Like, oh, this stuff is good, whatever, blah blah blah. And you see him partying it up, dancing, whatnot, and then all of a sudden Nikolai starts rubbing off on Eli, and Eli too, and the whole thing is getting like really crazy. All three of them, and then Ingrid just comes and starts grabbing on you, Damien, while Eli and Nikolai are just dancing over there in the middle of the room, kind of like starting to lose their clothes and whatnot, and
Mild side effects, right?
just going a little crazy things. And one thing goes after another, and you just see that
Yeah,
Ingrid-
they're losing control.
Ingrid is about halfway naked right now. Just sitting on you, like
Can I-
grabbing on you and all that.
Can
And
I
then
Can you just apply a bit of. Can you just target her pressure point to knock her out? There are several pressure points in her body that can genuinely knock a person out.
go ahead and roll
And-
your go ahead and roll your brawling. See if that works.
I hate roll. I have no idea what they roll.
Go ahead and roll your luck.
It was close. It was close.
Go ahead and roll your luck.
A luck instead of rolling it.
No. You're gonna roll luck after failing the rolling. All right. So
This is not going to be my night.
So not only you kind
Maybe-
of like fail at putting her
I'd
out,
advise you to go home for the evening.
not only you fail to put it out, but you actually hit the wrong nerve, and you actually turn her on even more. And
The most accessible points is actually rather close to a point that increases blood flow.
so she actually goes and she just grabs you. She's like, "Come on, let's go!" And she starts grabbing you and pulling you to one corner of the room because she's just gonna take advantage of you.
Yeah. I'm gonna
I mean, I
turn
can
around
I
and
can
read the book.
try to knock her out again, but this is getting awkward. I did pack up some knockout drugs, but I don't think I have time to fill out the syringe and inject her with
No,
them.
she's just like grabbing your clothes and like ripping them off. Like she's like
Hey,
a
don't
little
worry.
out of
Oh,
control at the moment.
I'm gonna try targeting her pressure point again. It won't hurt her, and I mean, if I miss, if I hit, she goes sleepy. If not, nothing really changes. Unless I fumble horribly. That okay?
Sure.
uh,
So she goes ahead and takes a sip of that drink, and then she starts
Oh,
kissing you, and she gives you some of that drink too.
she's
You
she's
actually
not gonna like
accidentally
it.
drink some of it, and you also get like turned on, and one thing gets to the other, and you guys are just like, you know,
Yeah, very much fade to black.
yeah, having sex over there in the corner. Meanwhile, Nikolai and Eli are also duking it out on another side. And the only one that's actually looking out, like wondering what's going on, is Clyde right now.
yeah, great. I'm just gonna start. I'm gonna set up my bed and start reading my book. I'm gonna be the only one that gets fucking sleep tonight, I guess. Jesus Christ, guys.
Alright, so finally the night goes on.
I mean, this is an
Everybody
awkward
ends up passing
situation,
out,
but
and the morning comes up. The morning comes up. What do you guys do?
Well, I'm gonna
I do
roll
like
up
him,
my
but I'm in my
my
game
blanket, pack that away, get my
Yeah, what
winter
is that
coat
noise?
and all the rest of my gear on.
Okay.
And,
I'm sorry, repeat that again?
I was saying I roll up a blanket and then just get my gear ready. I'm just gonna stand over by the portal and I'm gonna wait for everyone to kind of congregate.
Okay. Alright, so everybody wakes up, they're like, oh man, what happened last night? And Nikolai goes like,
next time,
what took over us? I don't remember much of what we did. What do any of you know what happened?
yeah,
Yeah.
apparently when she said mild side effect, she meant that this stuff acts like a freaking aphrodisiac.
Oh, wow! Oh, that actually happened. I thought it was a dream.
Nope, that actually happened. I mean,
That
it's not my
that seemed
first
to
time.
anything but mine.
Trust me, when compared to some of the aphrodisiacs I read about, this was tame to say the least.
Pain. She says, "Hey, you know, I happen to had a great time with you, and you may not like this, but now you're my boyfriend. What about all the things you told me last night? When you were kissing me, yeah. What happened with the fact that you said that we were going to get married, that we were gonna get married, and we were gonna have children, and we were gonna write poetry together, and we were gonna teach our kids to write
Well,
poetry."
I hope you don't mind being joining cults. Well, it's not really that much of a cult. Nothing really changed for me except learning how to do some crazy things. I mean, you pretty much saw
But
me punch a hole through a wall
but
with
this is not
with
about a
barely
cult.
any effort.
You and
So
me were hanging and doing things that married couples do. You didn't have a problem with that.
yes,
That's
but
because you
that
love me. You
doesn't.
you have to understand that you love me. Just accept it. And Nikolai just kind of says, "Look, you guys had your moment last night. How about we get to the mission? Can we, Clyde?
Yeah.
Can you tell us what what are we doing?"
Well, we're going through the portal
Uh-huh.
and figuring out from. But actually, did I learn any when I was looking before I was going to bed? I was looking at the book and the map. Did anything change to that, or is everything all the same?
Okay. Um. Actually, when you're looking
Now
at
that
the
the
portal,
Egypt portal's closed and the Tibet one's open, or what I assume is the Tibet one.
yeah. So the portal is open, and it's the only one open. It remains open since last night. However, it has changed colors. It was clear, and now it's of a pinkish reddish color, almost as if you guys or anything happened that had something to do with the color of the portal.
Like it was tampered with, or just like it just is faded.
No, it just changed. Just happened to change color. Something happened that changed the color.
And then when I was looking at the map and the book, or not the book, but just map, I guess, did anything change on that specifically? It was kind of like laying out the.
No,
Like
it just
that,
turned a little
I
red.
guess.
That's all that happened
Okay.
so far. There's nothing else to
Well-
it. You can still see through it.
What? Yeah. Well, Nikolai, our plan is to go through the portal and figure it out from there. We're going to be looking for a temple somewhere.
And Eli looks at the portal and she says, "What is this? Oh man, you guys dropped on the ground my drink by the portal?"
What?
Well, yeah, that's what's in the ground now. That's what's on the ground.
Well, we'll take care of it. I didn't have any of that. That's your stuff. You should. Well, what the hell? You're going through first then.
Look, I was being taken advantage by this old man. Okay?
Taking advantage. It was your drink.
Yeah, I was taking advantage. I don't normally do that stuff.
But you're the one that gave it to them. What are you talking about?
It was just a drink.
You gave us a drink that you yourself had side effects and didn't think to warn anyone. Those side effects
Got you real randy.
are aphrodisiacs.
I don't think this is a healthy discussion that's just going anywhere if you guys are not going to accept the fact that you drunk my drink without permission. I think
What?
that you guys should definitely at least take some liability for what you guys did. Anyway, give me just a
David's
second. I
gonna
gotta go
look
tuck
towards
my kid in.
light.
I will be right back.
Approach him briefly. If we find ourselves in danger like we did in that temple,
Yeah.
I'm using this one as a bait.
Hey. Yeah. No, I'm on that. Yeah. I agree.
Good news, if we manage to pull off this world-saving case, I might just be able to become my inner disciple within my sect, which means that I'm gonna have to spend a few months stuck in a cave like a hermit, learning advanced techniques.
Oh, so you can get away from Ingrid.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I mean, Clyde pretty much had demonstration of most of techniques Damien has. Damien would have been willing to show him. It's nothing special, just allowing me to hit harder, having a body that can withstand knife strike, being able to shout loud enough to put people in either a state of shock or make them run away.
That's
So it's he knows what the basic techniques of of Damien's acting Claude.
some crazy ass. What the fuck? What else are you gonna need? What else are you gonna know? Like a ground pound or something? That'd be
I
cool.
mean, I know how to move fast enough that borderline teleport.
Well, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I just learned that one. I just learned that one recently. Finished training. Nearly broke my legs several times.
How
I still have some microfractures.
how would you break your legs?
Do you know how much key or magic you need to flood through your legs to achieve that level of speed?
I guess not.
Yeah, it would have been
Quite a
possible
bit.
to tear my own legs apart while learning that technique.
Okay.
Like literally just have them explode. Advanced shit? It's a whole different category. Literally a whole different category.
So, the lady says, "Okay, well, you know what? We're not gonna get anywhere by pointing fingers and simply not being liable for what we did. So, why don't we? Why, are we going somewhere or what? What are we doing? I know that you guys went to get supplies. So, what's the point of the supplies?
Well,
I mean,
the,
we got necessary supplies.
Mm-hmm. For what? Are we living here?
well, we don't know how long we're gonna be there, and it's cold, so
Didn't we did grab a few clothes, so we should be fine-ish. I won't say that we'll be fine because it can be cold out there, but we should be relatively functional.
I wonder why this looks so red.
well, I don't know. But I was gonna have you go through first since
Wait, what?
your drink. Yeah, you're the one that spilled the goddamn drink on the portal and made it all haywire, so you have to go through first.
She looks at you and says, you know, I am a lady. Besides
So
everything. Are you really
I
gonna
mean-
make a defenseless woman going first?
Yes,
I got you a coat. Probably the most dangerous thing through that portal is going to be the elements.
Yeah.
So you're
I
welcome.
think. Are you saying that you're not man enough to go first, and that you need a woman to go first?
If that's what it takes to get you through that portal, yeah.
I see. Okay. Well, everybody just remember that Clyde over here apparently needs a woman to go first. She says, I thought
Yeah.
better of you. Last night when I saw you sitting down over there, I thought you were the better man, but I was.
That doesn't take much stock when you're getting pounded. That doesn't. Your opinions don't really matter to me when you're staring at me while you're getting pounded. That just makes me uncomfortable.
You kept looking. You know what? You obviously.
I was reading the book.
You always saw something you liked.
Can we get it? Move on.
Yeah, that would be preferable.
Fine.
Talks are
So,
getting.
give me the
a bit-
coat. Give me the coat.
Yeah.
Which one is my
Yeah.
coat?
I don't know any of them.
Damien just gives her a fairly nice, thick coat
And she grabs the coat
and a set of
and
Peter's
walks
shoes.
in.
Put this on
And
as
when
well.
she grabs it,
They
and when
don't-
she walks in, you see her walking in, and then you can see her on the other side. And on the other side, she goes ahead and takes the coat off.
Oh, son of a bitch! I'm gonna go through the goddamn portal.
Let's go. Put the coat on.
All right, you guys go through the portal. Then Isaac, I'm sorry, Nikolai, and Ingrid go through the portal too. And then they get the codes off automatically as soon as they get there. You guys notice that it's not cold at all. Although there is snow, and it is snowing, you guys just don't feel any cold. So Ingrid says, "Wow, this is strange. I mean,
We are into bed.
yeah, apparently."
That's
You guys appear on a mountain. You're on the side of the mountain. The mountain has a trail that goes up, and you see definitely a lot of snow around. There's wind. There's pieces of frozen water. Ice. In different places, frozen rocks. No vegetation whatsoever. But it is not cold for you guys at all.
yay.
Wow.
This is
Nice.
weird.
Is there any towns or anywhere to be able to find out where to locate the temple?
You're breaking up. What?
Or are there any towns around that could ask someone to help us locate the temple or to point us
Go
in
ahead
the
and roll
direction? Or
spy
is the
hidden.
temple around?
Roll spy hidden.
I don't know. Can you guys see the roll? Looking up, but I don't see it on my side.
Roll spy hidden.
Oh, there we go. Oh, shit. Right. Oh, man. Okay. Well, 61 was the first one.
Now you're cooperating.
All right. So yeah, you do see a town. The town is like way at the bottom of the mountain. Now, on the top of the mountain, Damien, you managed to see a temple. The bottom of the mountain, it's about, it's not a straight line, considering that everything's built of rock. However, you can make the assumption that it's going to take you a few hours to get down there, at least 3 to 4. Let's calculate about how many hours something like that will take you. Probably 11 hours.
How long to get to the top?
And the top of the mountain, the temple, would take you about 5 hours to get up there.
Would it be foolish of us to just go to the temple without knowing what the heck we're doing?
Probably. But
That's a
And
lot
Nikolai
faster.
says,
Still
look,
dangerous.
we are in Tibet. We are not wearing coats. It is currently snowing. It's windy. Everything's frozen.
Yeah. And
So I don't think that things are making a lot of sense. So therefore, I don't think anything is foolish or not foolish.
I genuinely envy you.
yeah.
Damien is going to pull out a bundle of cloth. And just hand out the climbing ice axes. I'll post a picture of those things to know what it is. It's essentially a hiking tool. Essentially like a hiking cane, but it has a tip that can be used to dig into the ice or into ice, so you don't in case you're falling or something like that happens, or you just need something to help you pull yourself up.
Go ahead and roll your luck.
I mean, those were easy to find, and Arkham is in the area where something like that would have been used.
Roll your luck. Roll your luck.
One second.
Perfect. So out of the side of a
By the way,
mountain,
see,
there's this
when
tiny little
does
guy.
Discord have a file size limitation?
All right. From the side of the
Pictures.
mountain, there's an entrance, and this tiny little guy, just wearing like winter clothes, he looks out, and he steps out, and he comes to you, and let's roll.
This will work.
All right. So
It is.
Damien,
Essentially, those things just
the guy just comes to you and he starts talking to you in Tibetan. You know, he's like.
I'm gonna look at Ingrid and kind of what is she saying?
And Ingrid turns around and says, and she looks at you, and she says, he thinks we're gonna get very sick by by not wearing winter clothing.
It's not cold.
And
sorry. My Discord has been decided to be an asshole and disconnected me.
okay. And Ingrid tells him that, and he's like, "Look," blah, 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 blah,
So
blah,
what-
blah, and he
So
pretty much
what
tells
did-
her that that he never seen anyone not being cold around this part.
He said that we're gonna get cold.
Yeah, he
We don't
asked
wear
her. So she turns around and she talks to you again, and she says, "He wants to know what we are doing. Where are we going?"
We're looking for
We're climbing.
the Temple of Nathara. Nathara.
Okay, so she tells him that, and he answers back, and she says, "Well, he says that the temple is at the peak of this mountain."
What does he know about the temple?
That is at the peak of the mountain.
Oh yeah, is that all he knows?
Apparently.
Apparently.
Oh, I mean, tell him thanks, but we already knew that.
And she said, "Blah, blah, blah, blah." And then he says something else to her. And then he goes back into into his area, whatever, into his hole inside of the mountain. And she says, "Well," he said, "good luck and just be careful."
Didn't specify on what parts to be careful about.
Well, I could have done that if I would have been a little bit more forthcoming. But since you said we already know, it kind of sounded like we didn't need him. So I told him that we didn't need him.
I mean,
Well, I
she's
asked-
not
I asked
wrong.
you to-
Besides,
I-
it's
I-
quite possible.
I asked. What are you talking about? I asked you to ask him if he knows anything about the temple.
Yeah, just now after you told me that we already
No,
knew that.
wait. That was my first. That was my first question. That was the first question I asked.
No, that was
What
not
What
your
else
first
does he know about the temple?
That
He
was
said it's-
not
yeah,
your
of
first
course.
question.
Yeah, what? I asked if he knows. Does he know anything else about the temple? And he all said that it's at the tip. I guess he doesn't know anything else.
Well, now we don't know because now he left.
Well, yeah, because you fucked us, Ingrid.
She's like, "Are you crazy? You told me that that he didn't know anything. That he didn't know anything else. You made it sound that way. So I just did exactly
You
what
didn't.
you said.
You didn't even ask him the things I asked you to ask.
Because you said that we didn't. That we already knew. So therefore, I dismissed them.
We knew that it was at the top, but what about my question about what else about the temple? What does he know about the temple? Did you miss that part? What else about the temple does he know?
He was kind of leaving at that moment because he got dismissed. So
What are
anyway,
you talking about?
now we're going to the temple right now.
That doesn't make it. That was.
Baby,
Before I said-
you see how he accuses me while I was trying to help here?
Mega, I get above board now. I guess I am actually confused though, because I did ask if he knows anything else about the temple, and everyone literally said it's at the top.
Well, she did say that he knows that it's at the top.
Well, that was me asking her to ask him. I'm not talking to her. I'm talking to him. She just needs to translate. I don't give a shit what she says.
Okay, so let's rewind.
But
That's
he's
fine.
gone though.
Let's rewind. That's fine.
I mean, he's gone.
So she says to him, "What else do you know?" And he says, "Well, I only know that it's very cold. It's very dangerous to get up there, and nobody that I know has gone up there and come back down." So she tells you that.
I mean, that doesn't really mean much, but it's good to have insight.
Does he have any tips to get to the top?
He says, "Well, apparently," so she asks him, "Go ahead and roll your luck." Only one of you. Thank you. She says,
He's
well,
asking, so I'm
he
leaving
says-
him to roll.
he says to follow the trail. just to be careful.
Damien, I'll let you.
What?
I'll let you. If you have any questions, and I figured you don't have anything else.
Well,
No, I don't really have any other questions. You already asked.
and then the other lady,
Besides,
kind of
because
like,
they are living beneath the temple, it doesn't mean that they know much, if anything.
Isaac goes ahead
I mean,
and says, "But why don't you tell them that we are trying to save the world? I mean, that's what we're doing, right?"
uh, that wouldn't work, except to make us sound absolutely insane.
And she
And
smiles, and she says,
people in these
she says something to him.
regions generally, okay, off the record, over the table, 1920s, people in a portion of Central Asia and good portion of Southern Asia really didn't trust or like foreigners.
Well,
They would cooperate, but the moment we say or do something that would make us sound unhinged, we lose any possibility of ever having any cooperation with them.
so she goes ahead and she tells him,
I mean, I'm not gonna stop her from doing it because my character doesn't know that she's doing it, but I will almost certainly punch her father for not using his brain.
so she says, blah, 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 blah. And then the little guy replies back something. And she says, he says that he can help us get up there.
I mean, it's just a walk up the mountain. Yourself, when you described it yourself, said it's just a couple of hours of hiking.
Okay,
We
so you
have
want me to tell him that we don't
warm
need him
clothes,
then? Send him
warm
away?
shoes.
Um,
Do we really need a guide for what's essentially a short walk?
I mean, it's a
I-
short
that-
5-hour walk in an unknown location in a place that he's lived his whole life, probably. I mean, I don't think.
Yeah, but mountains are generally unpredictable. So him guiding us wouldn't change much. Besides, Damien just kind of points towards the literal path that's marked heading up. We're literally told just to follow the path.
I'll leave it up to you. Where you want.
Okay, baby, then I'll tell him to go.
Oh
I
my,
know
oh
that
my
you
God!
know better.
In character, all of you forgot that we were literally told there's a path leading up there, didn't you?
And
Well,
Ingrid
I know
says,
that on my failed luck, that's what he said. Yeah.
and Ingrid says, "Okay, baby, no problem. I'll take care of it. I'll send them up. That's fine."
No, just say him thank you for the offer, but we can do it on our own.
And she talks to him, whatever. And he actually looks at her, and she says, and he says something now with a kind of an attitude, and turns around and walks in.
Sweetie, what did you tell him?
Oh, nothing. I mean, I just told him that that are not from the mountain, we are smarter, and we already know how to get up there, and that we can follow trails very easily without the assistance of dwarves.
That brood is barely
So
burned.
until you learn how to communicate properly with people, finish this. Until you learn how to communicate properly with people, you're literally going to be stuck at school. I'm
just
going to find a
communicated
way to
properly.
get you.
I told him that we didn't need him. You
I'm
said
going
we
to
didn't
find
need
a
him.
way to get you in as a student. I also said to be polite,
I
not to
was.
insult him in 4 different ways.
I didn't insult him in 4 different ways. It was just the one.
Uh, you said you're smarter. Called him a dwarf.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure there was 2 more things.
I
And you
think you guys are
completely
just
to take into
overreacting. Baby, come on. You
consideration
know that we're smarter and we can get
locality.
this done. We don't need an Indian looking like
We're
dwarf.
not.
Maybe Chinese looking like dwarf. You know,
Not
to
smarter.
help us get there. We got this, baby. We got you. You're the smartest thing over here. The smartest guy. Right, Daddy?
Why
And he just grabs
Why
his hand and
does-
puts it on his hand.
does
On his
Arkham
head. Siding.
does Arkham have any courses on proper behavior and diplomatic activity? Something that can hammer proper behavior and politeness into her?
Got my backhand.
He's in Eli.
I mean, I can.
And Eli is like, you realize that maybe that guy probably could have been useful. I mean, we don't know
Yes.
what is it like over here.
I agree.
Anyway,
Now,
let's get
she's
walking.
called him a dwarf.
We're just wasting time right now.
That's the worst part. Let's go.
So, all right. So you guys start
Over the
hitting.
table. I am not. Back to game.
So you guys are starting to go up, and Ingrid said, "I hope you're proud of me, baby. I did exactly what you asked me to do. I love you so much. I can't wait till we get married."
Mm,
And you guys start going up the mountain. Go ahead and roll your luck. Okay.
Yeah, twice in a row.
All right. So there are 2 situations that would require a little bit of climbing. One of them doesn't require a roll because you automatically apparently passed it. You know, it's just getting on top of a not too high rock, just a little bit of maybe if you were a little shorter, you were required to climb. But the other one doesn't. So go ahead and roll your climb.
What did you say to roll?
Climb.
Fine. I mean, we're following the path, not.
Yeah, but there's a
climbing
couple of
the
rocks and
field
whatnot
wall.
in the middle, and unfortunately the path is not clear in those areas.
Oh.
And,
What the
you know,
fuck?
Clyde obviously is not able to go through it, but Damien actually slips, falls back. Go ahead and roll 1d3, please.
Sorry. Give me a second. Dash R. That. 2.
2. Okay, so take 2 damage. You kind of fall on your butt or
I do not.
something happened.
You're forgetting that one of the things you granted me is bronze body. I get free armor.
Okay, that's fine. So So at this, Isaac says, I wonder if he might maybe knew a way to like just avoid this area or something. Maybe he knew something. I don't know. But anyway, do you guys have a
Yeah.
plan on how we're gonna go over this? How we're gonna be able to get to the other side?
How big is the rock?
I want to say that
Like how tall? Like
the
how big
rock is about 15 feet tall. Definitely taller.
How to,
Much taller than you guys are.
I mean, we can
And
try very carefully moving around it.
well,
That's
when you look at
nice.
the rock, on one of the sides, there's just a chasm, that just falls off the mountain. You might not be cold, but maybe you're just not immortal.
I mean, I know I'm not immortal. I can just take a beating.
Should have gone the guide.
So, Ingrid says, "Okay, baby, you said you had this. So, what do we do?"
Okay. And I didn't bring any mountain climbing equipment. Over the table, I really don't want to use key strike to break this because it would ruin everything. So, uh, back to game. I, I suppose if we can get someone, if we could just set up a rope system or something like that to have us to have a safe handhold so we can move around. It should be fine to go around this rock. And I mean, technically, we do have tools for it. So
Um,
I mean, I'm
and
obviously climbing, so I can. Let uh, There is a method used in mountain climbing when the path is blocked by something that is stable but it cannot be removed. It consists of setting up a rope from one side to the other that's just loose enough that people can walk on the inner side of it using it as a support. It's
and
actually very reliable way to move around and it's easy to set up.
and
It
Nikolai
just needs
says,
two anchor points.
"Well,
I can
why don't we do whatever it is we're gonna do to get to the other side? I mean, if you're sure it's gonna work, let's try it out. I mean, no point in just standing over here. You seem you know your way around it,
uh,
so
I've been on a lot of hikes.
good.
Okay, first
See,
we need to secure one side of the rope on this side.
I guess there's a good
So in
reason
case
my
if I
daughter likes
start
you.
falling, there's going to be some safety to catch me. And then I'm going to carry over the other side and secure it if I can before giving you a sign to climb to just go around it. Remember, be on the inner side of the rope and move one by one. Got it?
Sure. And he
Let's see if I'm
says,
going to die.
just out of curiosity, he says, how's everybody's upper body strength? I mean, because if we end up slipping, we may have to grab the rope and hold ourselves up with the rope. It's kind of like we're gonna have just the one shot on that one. And Ingrid says, "Well, Daddy, I'm a very strong girl. And I have my man that he's gonna take care of me." And Eli says, "Yeah, she's gonna die first. Um, I don't know. I can probably hold myself for a couple seconds." Eli says, "But you, old man, I doubt you'll be able to hold yourself up for long." What about you two?
Not great.
Okay.
I have a decent.
Oh, okay. Well, it sounds like
decent
at least one of you is
upper
gonna
body.
make it. Then you got faith that one of you is gonna make it. Then you seem like we got this. Then.
Hopefully, we will survive.
Okay. All right. So you guys ready to try this?
Okay, let's give me a second to set everything up
Sure.
and then start walking one by one. No, the second person doesn't start walking until the first one is safe. Is safe one. Sorry, my brain farted. Until the first person heading over is safe with me. So let's try to be smart about this.
Yeah.
Okay, is there something we can secure the first side of the rope on? Here, or do I need to set something up manually?
And in what's his name, Nikolai. He says, "Well, if something is to happen to me, I have to ask you guys to please watch over my daughter. Definitely, she is gonna need some caring and protecting."
As long as we don't do anything stupid or something horribly goes wrong, or unless something horribly goes wrong, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Exactly.
Besides, we have
I mean, what can
several
go wrong
ropes.
when we are just standing over here and we cannot even feel cold? So yeah, I get it.
Okay.
So what exactly are you trying to do?
Um, okay. This was a technique that was used in mountains of southeastern China. They would take a rope and put it horizontally on along the face of the mountain. The rope was tight enough to hold a person, but loose enough so you could slip beneath to use it as just a way to make sure you don't fall. So you would go beneath the rope, lean on it slightly, put your arms above it and beneath it. So if you slip, you're just going to go a little. You're just going to hold yourself up thanks to just biology itself, and then you just walk sideways along the side of the mountain. And we will be extra careful because we will be securing ourselves with the secondary rope. So if you slip and by some misfortune slip from beneath the first rope, there's going to be someone holding you, so you don't fall. What I
Alright.
described makes no sense, does it?
I mean, I'll believe it when I see it.
I know it makes no sense when I talk about it, but it worked in the mountain in Chinese mountains. The similar technique existed when it comes to Alps, to alpine mountains and
So
mountain areas
he
in
says, okay,
the
fine.
current United States.
I think this is a great plan, Nikolai says. And and then Ingrid goes ahead and says, "See, Daddy likes the plan. I think we're making progress here." And Isaac says, "Well, no, it's a particularly great idea. I just wonder where are you gonna tie it from on the other side?"
Well, there these mountain paths often, I mean, often, the mountain paths of Himalayas are such that they almost always have boulders or large rocks with protrusions that we can use to tie the rope at. If you look up the mountains of Himalayas, you will of sorry, not Himalayas, the sorry,
Mountains,
my brain is not braining. Where do you say we were currently?
Tibet.
Mountains of
But I
Tibet.
guess my
Thank you.
question is, why do we need to tie a rope if you can make it to the other side to tie the rope?
Because it needs 2 points of anchorage. It needs on this side and on the other.
Right, but how are we gonna
I
tie the
mean,
rope on the
if
other
you
side when we are stuck on this side?
that's why I'm going over first.
Oh, okay. I see. I see what you did there.
So
Um,
I have a highest upper body strength
yeah,
and lower body strength.
that's great.
I have ways to keep myself safe.
Right. So she says, "Do you have any family
And
that you want us to contact and pay your respects after you're gone?"
no, not really. I mean, nobody I have been in contact with for a past decade,
Oh wow.
decade and a half.
Yeah. Okay. Well, sure. Go right ahead.
That all they will know I died, so either way, so nobody will really care too much
I think
about
you
it.
got a great idea. I think you should definitely go for it. You're an innovator, for all I know. Your friend Clyde over here also, I'm sure that he thinks you're an innovator too. Um, we really can't wait to see this happen.
Okay, uh, do we count the speed in 5 foot fields, or is the distance measured in yards?
What speed?
I'm asking you as a in character, as a player.
Yeah, what speed?
Movement speed.
Oh, movement speed. Well, it depends. I mean, it's not the same thing if you're walking that if you're just shimmying across, like on the edge of a rock, praying for dear
Just,
heaven not to fall. So,
just answer, please.
right. So if you're on the edge of a rock,
No,
I
no,
think
just
you're
tell
not
me,
just gonna be
please.
you're not just gonna be walking. You're gonna be probably doing a little bit of climbing too. And granted that you're not climbing up, but you're probably trying to
Is
pull yourself
movement
from it. So I want to say that
mega?
yeah, I'm
Mega
talking.
is movement in meters, yards, or 5 foot squares.
Ah, I see. So distance you want to know.
Yes,
Okay. So
that's movement rate, the distance.
the distance will be in feet, feet or yards. I mean, I don't think it's as long enough to make it yards. I want to say that
Yards is
that
around
rock.
1.2 meters,
I
while
want
feet is about 30 centimeters.
right, but what I'm gonna say is that that rock,
There's a big difference.
that rock is probably about 10 feet long.
And is about 14 feet high. You said that,
Yep.
correct?
The 15 feet high. So yeah.
15. Okay. So if it's in yards, if movement is in yards, that means that if I use flash, I'll be able to just hop on the on the rock.
Well, no, I mean you still will have to. You still will have to
Climb
climb.
on
I
the
mean,
other
you don't.
side,
You
but-
cannot get to jump as high. I mean, you can try to jump a little bit, but it's just a matter that your hands just cannot reach the.
Description says move double the speed instantly. You agreed to that description.
So what you can
Yes,
do.
it's limited to moving,
Mhm.
but it doesn't say that I am limited to moving strictly on the solid ground. Obviously, ground to move on, but
Right, but what I'm
doesn't
explaining
say I
you.
cannot jump.
Right, what I'm trying to explain to you is that so the rock is too high for you to simply jump up and be able to grab the ledge. Now, even if you run, you're still the edge is a little too high up for you to be able to reach it. So, I mean, ultimately, maybe you can try. Actually, why don't you one of
Once
you roll
again,
intelligence?
wrong.
One of
Basic
you roll
movement.
intelligence.
Again,
Oh
with
my
that,
gosh, dude.
you're a
My
big
rolls
mistake
trash.
because I know this because I trained parkour. I was capable of having the ledges that are around 16 feet tall using a simple wall running technique. You just
Right.
literally just run straight up, one step, two step up the wall and grab the ledge.
So
It's more than possible.
Nikolai will go ahead and say, "Well, what's
So
really stopping
yes,
us?
yeah,
What's
so
really
yes, I have ways to do it safely.
okay?" So Nikolai says, "Well, if he fails at that, what's really stopping us from trying something else? Like, why don't we just
Well, he
build?
said,
Why don't we just build a human ladder?"
I thought about that. I
Mm.
just don't know if we would have enough people to get 15 feet high and like still have enough to get people from the bottom up.
Well, I mean, there's four of us.
The bottom needs to be strong enough to keep others climbing on top of him, and then the people on top need to be strong enough to pull the person bottom up.
He says, "Well, there's, I mean, we're
If
probably gonna have the same
literally,
chances. The only thing that I see is that the person that is on the bottom is gonna have to be able to hold the weight of at least two people, if not three."
Before
I mean, there's
there's 5 of us.
there's five of us, so at least three people. I see. He says.
Can I look around? Is there any other paths other than this rock that, like, maybe there's a deterring path that might go down and around under or past the rock?
That you can see, this is the only path. I mean, you can roll. You can roll. You can roll spot hidden in a hard. See if you pass that one.
Worth a shot.
Quick question:
Think so.
is the path we're on? Is it straight next to a ledge on both sides, or is there
No, it's next to a
an
ledge on
angle,
one side. On the opposite side,
and on the other side there's a wall?
yes, there's a wall of rock. I mean, and gravel and stuff. It's very loose. So, I mean, you could try climbing it, but the slightest. I mean, you can tell that it's too angled up. The angle is just too steep. So this the slightest misstep probably have you like tumbling down. Ooh.
Mhm.
I need to
So
restart. None of my rolls are.
as you're looking around, some snow just gets into your eye and starts irritating your eye. And go ahead and roll a 1d2.
Wait, are you talking to me?
Yeah.
My rolls weren't going through. I had
No,
to
they are.
restart with it. They
You
come
just
through.
rolled a 99 on your spot hidden.
Well, no, my first one was a 42. I see them all come up now. I rolled like 7 times because my spot, like I was clicking it and nothing was coming up, so I had to restart.
Oh, I see. I see.
My
Never mind.
first my
I
first roll was
guess
42
I
though.
guess they all came out at the same time. Okay, so 42. So
Yeah.
never mind. So yeah, no. You start looking around, but you don't see much of anything.
All right, I'll let Damien do his thing. I mean, the human ladder idea. I don't know if I thought about that too. I just don't know if it's practical. I don't know who.
It's like, well, Nikolai says I'm a little too old, um, but if you guys wanna stand at the bottom, maybe one of the girls can climb up, and she can help maybe the other one of the girls, and then between them, maybe they can help us get up there. Or we can try, I don't
Damien?
know, anchoring a rope or something and see how fast we'll break our necks.
There is literally no safe, no
Well,
really safe option here. I mean, technically, if somebody didn't fall, we might have been able to ask for help, but we can
well,
forget about that. Now, can we?
Thanks,
as
Ingrid.
well, I mean, I think you know, maybe falling on your butt, even breaking a leg, sounds a little bit safer than falling off a mountain. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? Clyde,
I mean,
you,
if I'm relying on climbing or strength, I'm useless. So I mean,
okay.
if I'm doing either of them, I don't.
Well, there you go.
I'm not getting over it. So
So, anybody else
I
has
hate
any
this.
better ideas?
Okay. I don't have a good idea. That matter of fact.
Perfect. What's that?
But Maggie, you're gonna hate me for this. And I'm gonna hate myself because I'm going to run out of resource. How tall did you say the climb was?
About 15 feet.
Okay. knife strikes supported by a key strike to make holes to climb out on top of that thing.
Hold on, wait, what?
Well, reminder, this is what you gave me when we first made this character.
Okay. Oh, I see.
Right.
I see. So you're
So,
trying to
for
to
let's say
to
15 feet tall, that requires six. To be safe, that would require six holes. That means I would have only three magic points left, but I would be able to literally create small ladders for everybody to climb without no risk.
Mhm.
Because everybody was stupid and annoying, just decided to go with this. I didn't want to. I really genuinely didn't want to use this. But somebody decided to be annoying. So I'm
I
just gonna
see.
say fuck it.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, okay, if that's what you want to do. I mean, you're still gonna pass the
That's what
roll.
happens with. No, I don't. You're literally. The brawl is to hit something. I
What are
don't
you
need
What
to
are you
roll to
hitting
hit
exactly?
something.
If you don't mind me asking.
That's okay. You know what's in Call of Cthulhu classified as material durability?
I'm sorry, you
Material
broke up. What?
durability in Call of Cthulhu. Okay. In Call of Cthulhu,
Mm-hmm.
material durability means material health points. This thing says bypass armor and material durability.
Mm-hmm.
That means that I literally can break anything. I'm
Okay,
not
so you're gonna try
doing
to
it
break the rock.
as a no. I can don't have enough power to break the rock. Don't have power. Don't have reach. What I
Right.
can do is make holes.
Okay, so you're
I
gonna try to make a
I
hole in the
I
rock.
holes multiple like we use for climbing for
Oh,
handholds.
I see. I see. I see what you're gonna
Now
try to
I
do.
I usually don't want to do. I really don't want to do this because
Mm-hmm.
it kills the immersion. I I genuinely hate doing this,
Okay. Well, I mean, you gotta do
but
what you gotta
you
do.
were but you were being a bit too much of a pain in the ass.
You gotta do what you
So I'm
gotta
just
do.
gonna say fuck it.
You gotta do what you gotta do. So, all right, do whatever it is you're gonna do.
And I mean, it's literally a giant boulder. I don't think I can miss that thing.
No, no, no. You're not gonna miss a giant boulder. That is true. But the question, I mean, not the question. I mean, you still have to do whatever it is you're gonna do. So go ahead, do
I mean,
whatever it is you're
yeah,
gonna do.
this,
Now, the only warning I'm gonna give you is this. So let me ask you first: how many magic points are you planning to invest?
one per strike, which is six in total, which means that I have three strikes remaining, 3 points of magic
Okay, 3 points.
before I'm at zero, which leaves me at deep shit.
Well, technically,
I have only I
with two magic points left, you will faint. You will get too tired and faint. So,
this is how much I have left after making those holes.
right, you will have three.
If I lose
That's
one more
fine.
point, I risk fainting. Yes.
Right. So you're gonna use three. Okay. Sure. Whatever. Go right ahead and do it. I mean, I'm sure you're gonna cross the the area anyway. So
Yeah. You kind of
what?
just see Damien,
What do
who
you think,
just
Clyde, about all
grows in
this?
annoyance and just kind of starts punching holes in the in the
I just
giant
wish we.
boulder.
I wish we didn't call the guy a dwarf. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's. I agree.
You didn't call who?
I would have
It's,
preferred.
I said I wish we didn't call the guy a dwarf and piss him off because this is not
Yeah,
my
it,
strengths. So
it would
I'm
have been
still not
very useful
confident.
to have be able to go ask local for help. Fortunately, because of someone, chances of that working are small to
It
And
just
none.
Ingrid
the
says, we can.
the one time she was able to be useful and she was less than ever.
She says, you know what? You know that we can always go back and just ask him to help us, right?
After you insulted him in 4 different ways,
It was, we agree, it was too long. And it was
Two
because
that I
I
remember what you
thought,
said, but
and because I thought he was having an attitude, so that I was supposed to answer with an attitude back.
yeah, that's not how real world works. Okay, let me give you an advice. Even if someone is behaving like an absolute asshole, you want to handle things calmly and most important of all, politely.
Well, how about you make the holes if you're gonna
Because
make them so we
you
can go?
never
She says.
already did. You can have punched holes to climb. This is just a serious advice that will help you in the rest of your life.
Yeah, we can talk about it tonight when we
Learn to
write some
behave.
poetry. Maybe we can write a poem about it together, and while we hug and kiss. But I think right now, we we
I
we ought to
think that
get moving.
I think that first you need to spend several years in a monastery somewhere
Well,
for an
I think we
efficient
are.
re-education.
We are going to some sort of temple or something like that. There may be a monastery up
As
there. I don't
I
know.
said monastery.
Yeah. She says, I don't know. Maybe there is a monastery up there. Maybe there's just nothing. Maybe we were just tricked by the little midget.
see, there you go again.
Find it.
That's exactly why we're in this situation.
Well, he's not here right now. How can he hear me?
Yeah, but it's just having those thoughts. You shouldn't even think like that.
Okay, so what are we gonna do?
Well, we're gonna try and climb up Damien's handholds here and see if that works.
Okay, well,
I mean,
Damien, baby,
we can do that
get
relatively
going.
easily.
And you see that.
Fine, I'm going first. Literally ladders.
And you see that Nikolai just
Carved
sits
into
down.
the-
Isaac goes ahead and pulls out a pipe, and she starts smoking a pipe.
Jesus Christ, guys, is this really the time? With Damien's
come up
ladder
here.
set up, is it something that I could roll a strength or dexterity on
For what?
rather than a climb?
I don't think you would have to roll anything.
to
It's
get up.
literally just that of holes
No, you will
that
just
can be used to easily climb.
when you get
like
the
for ladders.
holes up, the pin.
That's like-
I mean, obviously, you have to have some regular to decent upper body strength. I mean, I would just have you roll
Only
at the
for first
most.
step.
At the most, if your body strength is somewhat low, maybe some dexterity, but that's really it. where it will be based
I was given the
on
opportunity.
it wouldn't necessarily be based on your strength to climb up, but more so your strength to just keep your body balanced.
If it's
It's
about
literally
balance, I
climbing
would prefer to
improvised
do
ladders, so
dexterity.
you should be fine.
Right. So, what's your strength? Just curious.
My strength is 40.
Or
Dexterity is 60.
Yeah, you're probably gonna have to roll dexterity, man. You have. I think some of the women that are on some of the NPC women are stronger than your character.
Yeah, I figured.
All right.
I'm probably more dexterous though. I'm more flexible than they are.
But yeah, you climb that thing up. You go super fast. You're like, all right, you guys coming?
Damon, it's not too late. We can just run.
So Isaac puts the pipe
in
away.
one word, let's get out of here.
Isaac puts the pipe away, and she goes next. And she says, okay, well, I think we're finally getting a move on this. And then, and then Ingrid goes. And she's like, all right, nice, we did it. Now we just need Daddy and Baby to come. Come on, Daddy. And he goes ahead and he climbs with a little bit of, of a hard time, but he manages to make it. And then finally, Damien does it. Damien, you are going to need to
I would
roll
have had
dexterity,
first.
mainly because you
I
use your most of
Mega?
your. Hold on, let me talk.
I would have had to go first. Literally, I don't have reach to punch holes at 15 feet.
Okay, so yeah,
I would
you're
have
right.
literally had
You will have had to go first.
to
So
make
no, you don't have to
holes
roll the
every time.
dexterity because you're expending your points as you go up. So you're right. So, okay. So then you're all getting to the other side. You manage to get to the other side and you see that the pathway continues, but the pathway is not too far up where you actually see the temple. This temple is actually quite big. It's got a very rustic type look to it. It doesn't seem like it is in great shape. Definitely has seen better times. Most of everything seems to be broken down. Almost sort of a ruin than an actual temple. But it is a temple nonetheless. So what do you guys do?
Are there any tracks or anything around there that might imply that someone has been there recently?
Spot hidden is your friend. Well, look at you. Yeah, you actually see some tracks.
We do?
Yes. Very much so.
Would I be able to tell how many people, or is it just
Sure,
all
go
a
ahead and roll
single
a
line?
1d5. Alright, so about 5 people.
There's 5 of us, right?
Yep.
How
Okay.
many of us actually know how to fight?
I have my gun, and I would have bought guns for anyone that knows how to use them.
I don't know how to use them, but I am good at throwing pointy object and hitting people.
That's something.
Isaac says, well, I know
And
how
cutting
to
them to
shoot.
pieces.
I know how to shoot. And then Ingrid says, I play darts with Daddy every once in a while.
don't
Roger that.
think that darts
Well,
count as knowing how to use a gun.
Well, you asked if we know how to shoot.
well,
Yeah.
if
My
we need
bad.
you to throw something very precisely, I'll let you know.
There you go. That's
Were
the
you any good
spirit.
at darts?
Yeah, I always beat Daddy. I would play.
I'm gonna look at Nikolai as she says that.
And Nikolai says, no, actually, she's fairly decent. She always beats me.
I'm still skeptical, but if it comes up, we'll consider it.
All right, so do you?
I suppose is there only one entrance to the temple?
Yes.
I'm assuming the footprints lead up to.
Yes.
Well, what do you guys say about sneaking in?
That it might be a good idea. Over the table, this is terrible idea with my skills and rolls.
Yeah, I, I agree, but I don't see any other options other than just going in guns blazing. But let's maybe see what we can find out.
Yeah.
I suppose we'll attempt to stealth in to see who's also here now.
All right.
Because up to this point, we haven't actually met an actual person involved with this, right? It's only been that creature and then the dimensional shamblers.
Yes. I
Okay.
mean, you met
So they might know more
certain
than us
things,
then.
but not anybody directly involved into that. So, okay. All right. So go ahead and roll stealth. Wow.
Apparently, all I had to do was reset my town.
And you started
Yeah.
stealthing. You were going up, and Damien actually, sticks his hand. I mean, he walks, and he kind of steps into a depression, so his foot kind of goes down a little lower, and and that gets him uncomfortable. So he kind of curses out loud. It's like, what the heck?
It would probably be closer of him hopping around, and because the halls are fairly empty, every louder step would echo.
That too. Sure.
So even one would be rather. In the empty halls, it would sound loud.
Yeah. Totally.
Hey, can you keep it down, dude?
And Ingrid says, "Yeah, baby, come on, you gotta keep it down. You can't be that loud."
Fuck up.
Sorry. All right, well, let's go. She says, "Daddy,
We're fucked.
Daddy, just
Yeah.
we're hiding, Daddy. So go quiet."
Shut up.
I am telling Daddy to be quiet.
Well, do that yourself.
I was already quiet,
Okay, we're still talking.
but you don't understand. I am helping
Let-
the group.
Let's just keep going.
But we are going.
Keep for the moment we're inside, and if nothing is directly observing us, I'm gonna try to sneak a bit away from her. I still have to be close enough. But it, if she wants to be loud and be a walking target, she's welcome to it.
You sound like you don't like her.
Weird, right?
Considering
What
how
gave you
into
that
you she
idea?
is. But, okay. So you guys walk inside. Now, you reach, finally, the temple at dawn. Um, Eli. Hold on, Eli? Yeah, Eli. Eli says, "Okay, we should probably look at the book, shouldn't we?"
I mean, it hasn't really been updating. But yeah, I guess I'll pull it out and look at it.
Go ahead and
Map.
everybody run your power.
I didn't get a single good roll today.
And we're
Alright.
back.
So,
And nothing is changed.
so both of you have a vision. Have a kind of a little bit of a vision or a dream, a vivid dream, where you're walking in the temple, but now the temple is like, it's almost brand new. You see that there are spirals that are carved into eyes, and everything just looks nice. There's bells that are sounding, and that you guys clearly hear, and those bells are pretty loud too. You see candles that are burning, and kind of weird because they don't seem to be melting as they burn. You also see that there's this man wearing this strange outfits from, I guess, from Tibet, that they are doing a ritual, and then finally the item that you're looking for, it descends almost as if it's floating, and then they grab it, and they go ahead and they just grab it, and they start trying to leave with it. And the moment that they try to leave with it, this massive creature appears from a mural that is behind them. First an image forms, and then the creature pulls out, and then the image is almost as if it's carved from the sky. If anything, you hear loud screams. And go ahead and roll spy hidden. You see a name carved, and I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna put in there what the name is.
What the Yatraka?
The moment that they grab the crystal, a rift appears, and obviously those people that grab the crystal just die by the creature, and the rift disappears. What do you and suddenly you get back to reality. What do you guys want to do?
Get the fuck out of here. That's a
Ingrid
lot to
Ingrid
take in.
looks at Damien and says, "Baby, are you okay?"
Uh, yeah, yeah. I think I'm okay. Just,
Nikolai asked the same
just
question
a bit
to both of you.
easy.
Are you guys okay? You kind of been standing over there for a good minute. We were talking to you, and you sort of
But
quit
yeah,
answering.
sorry, my I used up a lot of key to make those holes in the boulder, so I'm a bit out of it.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
he says, "Well, I am very impressed about the fact that that area over there that seemed to have that there's that wall over there, that mural. There doesn't seem to be nothing else around it. So I don't know. Do you guys have a plan? Do you have any idea what we're supposed to do? Should we go back get the guide?
I feel like we're past that one, Nikolai.
Yeah, we are kind of past that
Okay.
last.
The mural on the wall, is there any writing on there that Ingrid would be able to translate?
I mean, you can only ask her.
Oh, yeah. Well, Ingrid.
You can also
Is there
roll
anything
your.
like.
If you guys have any Cthulhu mythos or any occult, you can roll that too.
I think I might have a bit of a cult, but no,
I
I don't
have-
have cult.
I have tons of occult. Yeah. Oh my god. Holy shit.
Holy shit!
What is happening today? It's up and down. I can't
You
have.
remember that you
medium.
saw that name in one of the books at the university, and the book was talking about this being that just lives in another dimension and appears in very cold weather areas, particularly mountains. And that normally seems to be there to protect something.
There's usually something here to protect something.
Yeah. There is
And that
evidently a
thing
way
is-
to dismiss him, but unfortunately, you do not have the knowledge on how to do such thing. So,
Hey, check if something changed in the book.
Yeah. I guess I'll. Yeah. Anything changed to it?
no, not really. The book just seems to show.
I'm sorry.
an image.
I mean the map. The
Oh,
map. I'm
no,
sorry.
the map still shows in the same way.
Hmm.
So we learned from the vision that there people tried to take the thing from the creature and died.
And Eli said, "Wait,
Am I-
what vision?"
I was more clarifying with you, but if that is how it happened, then yes, I would say it out loud.
Okay. He's like, "What? You guys are seeing visions?" Did you think that
Yeah.
maybe
Places
something
like
that you
these
want to share
tend to
before
have-
we go into a life or death situation, and maybe you guys are a little
If-
bit, I don't know, touched?
If we knew in advance what we just learned, then yes. Besides, you literally saw me punch holes
Yeah, but
in
you're
a
punching
giant
holes on a
boulder.
rock. The Rock
You've
is not
seen
punching
more.
back.
Also, you remember when we were surrounded by dimensional shamblers? And you're freaked out by a vision?
Well, yeah, because those things can come back.
Well, welcome to world of true of true supernatural. It has been tame so far.
All right. So what's the
Yes, being hunted by shadow creatures, getting ready to devour your soul, being surrounded by
So
many
what is the plan right now?
monsters that tear you apart is considered tame.
She says, "So okay. So what do we do? What do you guys have planned? How do we?"
Well, we're looking for the hollow star, the tip of the hollow star. That's our main focus here.
Okay. Do you guys know where it is?
No idea.
Did
Yeah.
that appear in your vision?
Unfo- un-
I can't. I'm trying
Unfortunately,
to remember. I don't think it did.
It actually did. But,
out of character, I don't remember.
no. It actually did. You had it on the. You saw it on the vision. That's when the.
Oh, we did?
When the people found the vision. That's when the creature showed up.
Well,
When they found it, the creature showed up.
Vision, where
Yeah, the creature kind of came out of the wall.
Wait, in the vision, did the did we see how the creature handled the thief?
The people?
Yes.
Yeah, the creature kind of killed
Did he
them.
just watch them, rip them apart?
Ripped them apart.
Did
Yeah.
he just drag them in the picture when it returned?
No, it ripped them apart. And then probably ate their bodies or something.
Okay. Second question.
Sure.
In the vision, did one of them, did they still hold on to the crystal when the creature attacked, or did they put it in a bag?
No, they still had the crystal, and the moment that they died, the crystal sort of disappeared.
Not flew away anywhere, it just disappeared.
Yes.
Where did it fall before disappearing?
It fell on the ground and it sort of disappeared after that. It vanished.
I'm going to go towards where the crystal fell.
Okay. As soon as you start getting close, you see that the rift starts reacting to you. But you only see that. Clyde, go ahead and roll spotting.
Jesus Christ, seriously.
You start looking, but unfortunately, a wind blows a little bit of dirt on your eyes, so you just cannot see much of anything. You start scratching your eye, and you're just gonna go blind for. I mean, not blind,
Yeah.
but not being able to see for a 1d3 turns.
Oh, that's a bit much. By the way, based on the actions mentioned in the book, I actually calculated how long a round is in Cthulhu. 90 seconds, roughly.
Well, yeah. So, in any case,
So if it's just
so Um, but one of the girls is able to see. I mean, not one of the girls. Nikolai. Nikolai will definitely see and say to Clyde, "What's with the lights coming out of the wall, out of that mural?"
Well, it's like, Damien, are there lights?
So, Damien, when you look at
Lights
the
from
mural,
where?
Damien, when you look at the mural, you see that the mural is starting to light up the closer you get to the rift.
Do you see anything?
I'd like uh, yeah, mural is glowing slightly, and
Yeah.
there appears to be some sort of rift in space here.
From
Oh,
there,
shit.
you also see that the rift actually happens to be at the center of that room, and that also at the center seems to be a stone arch that they cannot see it because the rift kind of covers it. But once you're there, you can actually see it. Um, the arc actually is etched with spirals that pulsed. They pulse faintly in a rhythm with your breath.
Okay, I'm going to describe everything I think there.
Uh, is that something? Could I roll a cold on hard or something like that to derive any information for him?
You can ride a colt if you want, but you know,
I don't know how
all
much
portals
help him.
and all portals and
And whether you
dimensions
know
are
something
very
or not,
different. So that will be very specific for you to be able to succeed on that.
and whether you know something or not, also please check the books because you like I did describe bunch of symbols inside. So if any of the things I described is mentioned, I'd like to know before I keep doing something stupid.
Yeah, I mean that might be better. Can I instead reference that to the book and to the book for the occult roll just to see if any of those symbols match up with how he's describing them?
Sure, you can look at the book.
Would you still like me to roll like occult or like libraries or something? Or
Yeah, occult.
what the hell? I'm gonna push it. There we go. Jesus Christ. What the hell?
All right. You end up realizing that most rifts they belong to different dimensions, and that most likely that particular rift connects to whether some sort of other part of the world or some other dimension or some sort of other impossible thing. It will be very, very hard for you to discern. However, in the book, it shows an image of the creature that you saw in sort of that world, and also the tip.
Implying that it guards the tip.
Yep.
But we can't see the tip.
Right.
Or do we have to go
Because
in?
it's on another dimension, so whether you go get it or whether you figured out how to summon it, but
Wait,
if you summon it,
summon
you
the-
apparently are also summoning the creature.
Okay, I'm gonna transfer that to Damien. We might be able
And
to summon the star, but we're gonna summon that creature that we saw, or we can go through that rift and take our
and
chances that
potentially
way.
enter into creatures' home turf.
Yeah.
And Nicholas said, "Oh, that is tricky. So get it to come here or go there." And Eli says, "Well, you know what? I don't know. Going there has its benefits too, because provided that we succeed in stopping that thing, maybe we can find other things." Maybe we're meant to go in there. You ever
I
thought
would
that maybe we're supposed to?
I'm gonna
Honestly,
call it the Damien. I would rather go in than summon it here, because at least if we go in, we have a chance of coming back out. But if we send that thing here, oh, maybe
yeah,
it'll.
this place isn't really ideal for fighting.
Wait,
Mm,
um, Nicholas
And
says, "What do you
it's
mean
kind
fighting?"
that tight.
I'm gonna look at him
Okay,
like, are you not paying attention? We had that vision of a monster that killed the other 5 people that were here that tried to get the star. With the tip.
imagine entering in a cage with a tiger.
Right, but if you had that
If we
vision,
summon, if we summon that thing here, we are essentially stepping into a cage with a very wild, very angry beast that will try to kill us, and it's big, it's strong,
you know,
and I don't think we have high enough caliber of weapons to do anything to it.
he says,
If we go,
call me a little bit
go,
conservative
if
here,
we go,
but I like to live. Don't you think that maybe
so do we.
we should try another way that it doesn't involve going and meddling with a creature that can rip us apart?
I mean, I'm open to suggestion, Nikolai, but we need the tip to continue, and it's either we go get it or we have it come here. Is everything that correct? That's how the book says. It's either you need to pick one. You can either go through or summon it.
And you need to understand one more very unpleasant thing, Nikolai.
We're gonna die.
The, the knowledge of all of this has been lost for at, at minimum centuries, millennia even.
All right. Well,
We are working with scraps. So
what's the
unless you
plan?
can
He
find
says.
and
What do we even
translate,
have a plan?
Well, I am going to go to one of the walls and bust out one of my chalks and create the ruins in the doorway for a quick escape. And I'll take the book with me so that all we need to do is set the book and get the hell out. Okay, guys. Damien, are you thinking to go in or?
I mean, we can technically, we can also go back, but I don't think any of us can acquire sufficient amount of anti-tank weaponry and explosives for me to feel comfortable potentially starting a fight with that thing here.
Well, what if we don't start a fight?
I'm not feeling any more comfortable going inside, but
Well,
And Eli says, "Wait, how are we going to be able to handle that creature without having a fight?"
I mean, the problem with fighting these types of creatures is that they are often alien, if not borderline immune, to almost anything we can do.
Right.
Because I ski, I can potentially hurt them, but those things are too durable for me to actually do anything but annoy it. And
Wow.
it's powerful enough to end us in potentially one blow. So
Okay.
summoning it here to get to the crystal means that we are fighting in close space where with very little room to maneuver. We don't know what's inside, but it's potentially better than out here.
I see.
So I mean, and once again, unless you have some informations about any of this that we can use to avoid dealing with that thing in the first place, we're open for it. Hell, I pray that you do actually have a speck of information more than us, because that means that we could, in theory, find a way to do this safely.
He's like, well, I
Because
really
I
don't
don't
know
want to go
anything. I
risk a
mean, you guys had
confrontation with
that
that thing.
vision. You guys had that vision. I'm just trying to determine what's our best chance of survival. That's really all.
Best chance of
Mega, can
survival.
you
We can try to. What if we? I mean, I know it didn't work so well to get into here, but we could try to sneak into the portal or the rift and just find the star and get out before it knows we're gone or there.
Sounds probably like a
I
good
don't know.
idea.
Mega, Mega, can you describe me the who attempted to take the artifact first, the fragment of the star? Can you describe them again?
The what?
The
The
tips.
people from the vision, those
Oh,
that were
there was a
killed.
group of
Can you
people that
describe
they
them?
were that you could not really see what they looked like because they were all grayed out. You could see their shapes, and they were over there doing some sort
Okay.
of
Did
ritual.
they look like they were? Did they look like they were wearing modern clothes?
Uh, Kind of hard to tell. Their clothes are too grayed out for you to be able to see them. You'd see more of their shapes than actually the people. And when they did
You said
this
it's
ritual,
easier to tell if someone is. It's easier
then
to know if someone is what type of clothes someone is wearing than based on the shape of the body than it is to identify
well, based on the shape of the
the
body, they seem to be
faces.
wearing like 1920s type clothes. But then
So
again,
this potentially just happened.
but then again, the little guy that you found in the mountain was wearing very rudimentary type clothes, maybe even made out of wool
Makes sense.
and probably made by themselves. So it's kind of hard for you to identify clothes that you're not necessarily used to see all the time. But with that being said, they did a they they just cast a spell and they made the tip appear from the sky, and then once the tip got close enough to them, the creature manifested from the wall and attacked them and ripped them all apart.
Okay, I would like to search the area to try and see if there's anything that they may have, if this happened recently,
Well,
if there might be anything that is still around.
we are gonna do that next week because we're gonna be stopping right now.